Sometimes it just feels like the Benny Hill show. We go round and round and round we go, and we end up back where we started. Hi, and good afternoon, and welcome to this bit of a break-in show. It's Hold the Front Page, Nagelsmann, new U-turn on the cards. It's THFC till I die, your home at Tottenham, past, present, and a very dizzy future because we keep going round and round and round and roundabouts. Join me on this stream, of course, as usual, my usual co-host, the Godfather himself, Mr. Philip Brady, and of course, down below, the jewel in our crown, Mia from Spurs Between the Lines. Philip, have you stopped being dizzy yet? Because we keep going round and round this roundabout, a bit like Benny Hill.
Yeah, I keep hearing that Benny Hill music in my head
Yeah.
here. You know, it's I don't know whether it's copyrighted or not, but it'd be worth putting it on sometimes to show us how our heads are at the minute. Yeah, this is a very interesting news that's come through in the last 12 hours or so. And we're hopeful that this is going to be it. And Dermot, I think you've got some information that you might want to pass on.
I will do very quickly. Mayor, how are you? And welcome to the Benny Hill Association Society Company.
Yeah, I just I feel like I'm not even excited anymore by anything. I'm just like, okay, let's see what happens.
Don't be like that. Come on, don't be like that. If you don't like that, I will stick on the Hawaii 5-0 music for you as you're entering music. Anyway, here is the breaking news. This was sent to me late last night, actually. Daniel wants let me start again. Daniel wants Julian Nagelsmann and is offering a massive wage package to secure the German signature to take the helm at Spurs next season. With the season coming to an end, there will be no payment to be paid to Bayern Munich. Now, there's the interesting part, and I will get into that in a minute. After missing out on slot, Levy wants this deal done as fast as possible. We talked about a deal being finalised towards the back end of next week. Julian is also now more comfortable in taking the Spurs job, down to the fact that Daniel Levy will block any potential transfer for Harry Kane. Philip, what do you say to that before we welcome everybody into the chat?
The one missing link on that, I would say, from reading things previously about Nagelsmann, is he's always worked with the director of football. That is the missing link as far as I'm concerned on that. Is there a director of football coming in parallel to this appointment? Or has he changed his mind and he's not going to have a director of football? So that's very interesting. The Harry Kane bit is potentially a deal maker, I think, that if he hears Daniel Levy is not going to sell Harry Kane, then it's a big plus for him coming to our club. So let's hope.
Yeah. Mia, look, what do you think? This is ridiculous, isn't it? Why did we not just go for him the first time round?
Could it be that money that we'd have to pay him that could have been the problem? But I don't know. I'm just like, do you know what? I just want to get a manager in, man. I just want to have a manager. Like, honestly, I don't care anymore. I just want a flipping manager.
Calm down.
I talked to a contact in Scotland earlier today, a Celtic fan. And he was saying that Postecoglou has come out publicly and stated he's aware of the interest from Tottenham, but he's staying in Celtic. So that kind of rules him out of the thing as well. So, it's narrowing down all the time now. So this could well be the one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll welcome some people in and we'll bring that up again and we'll go through it bit by bit and break it down. And we'll go through Nagelsmann's career as well, where he's managed, what he's won. And we'll try to put it together. Would he be a good fit at Spurs? Big first one in was Ellie. Good afternoon. Nice to see you all. Looking forward to a great show. Jazz Fusion, serious question. From the beginning, Nagelsmann made his demands known. You threw him under a bus for it. If all of a sudden you're running back now, why did you wait if he was your best option? Philip, what do you say to Jazz Fusion?
We've no crystal ball. We can only go on what we're hearing, We don't know. We know Nagelsmann wants a director of football, and that's my query as to whether that's going to be dealt with as well. But we're not running back. We're reporting the news as we hear it. We've no control over what actually is happening. It's just our job to pass it on to the fans, and that's what we're doing. So it's not that we make the decisions. So if this is a runner, albeit great stuff, brilliant. If it's not, then somebody has caused it not to be, and it's not us.
No, that's true though, isn't it, Mira? As Dave said yesterday, we can only pass on the information. We take it from the media, from people that we have contacts, haven't we? And we can only pass on what we get. So, do you know what I mean? Do you feel that some YouTubers have been getting it in the neck the last few days unnecessarily?
Yeah, I think that at the end of the day is that we are only going by what we know and what we can hear, what we've heard. It's the same as anybody who goes online and reads reports from people in the media. It's the same thing. We're just like a form of media. So if you don't want to know what's going on, then don't watch.
Yeah.
Please watch. Please like and
I
subscribe.
know. I saw this morning that Chris Cowland and Jack Pitt, I think his name is. They're two of the close to the club. They got some horrendous abuse on social media for things they've said about this managerial appointment recently. And when it gets to the stage of personal abuse, I think it's time people to take a step back. This is not a matter of life and death. It's football. It's our passion. It's our hobby. But we don't want to step to the personal abuse situation, because that is not on.
Well, Philip Bill Shankly may have argued with you on that point.
Well, I know that, but you know what I'm saying. Listen,
yeah, I know.
When you see what else is going on in the world,
Yeah,
really.
I know what you're getting at. We've got Tottenham forever. Big up Brian. Says hi, Domo, Philomia, Carl Simpson, Spurs. I'm like, Spurs is like dead or alive song. You spin me right around. I'm waiting for the first ones for that one. Neil Shafton, big up Neil Shafton, and thank you for becoming a Harry Kane member as well. It didn't come up on our things for some reason, but thank you so much. And you're becoming a member. You're really appreciated, and thank you. He says, I think we should just wait until there is a signed contract for a manager. Every day it's a new rumor, and I think it's just a joke without any real teeth, regardless. Well, look, I've got this. Look, the slot thing wasn't nobody's fault. It was slot playing us. We went with the news. It was 100% genuine. It was concerned, and our job is, as I say, to bring it to you. So that's what we do. We're as Dave said yesterday, Tottenham don't have a fan channel. So it's the fans having to make the channels for the fans. And that's all we do. We pass on the information from the media, from our sources to you, to keep you updated. So if things don't go right, they don't go right. It's nobody's fault. It's just one of them things, but we like to keep you updated. But big up, Neil. And Tottenham forever says Spurs spin my head right around. I bet they do. Brian Maguire, it's getting like a soap opera. It stays 63. No, 60 of looking for a new manager. David Clark, big up David. Phillips nemesis from Leicester. I know. I'd love them two to get on the show one time. I think that would be box office. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? Yeah. I think, David, you're 30 seconds behind with your prediction. West Ham just equalised.
It says, hi from Leicester. I hope everyone is well. At least Spurs ladies are winning. Beth England is Harry Kane. Yeah.
It is, actually. She scored again today, yeah.
Yeah. Beth England, something else. She is quality. Brian Maguire, I'm like Mia. Audio Aston, afternoon peeps. Someone's really having a laugh. I think he's talking about the situation. Dermatron, Philip and Mia, Kev Williams. Hope you're having a great day. Hi, everyone. I feel like Spurs are getting or have now acquired a name of an unattractive club because of a few years of this debacle. Look, I agree with you. Neil Shafton, leave. He doesn't show his cards. No, he doesn't. Brian Maguire, big up Brian. He says, Nagelsmann wants a director of football. Maybe I'm missing something.
That's what I was saying earlier on, because unless the two are going to come in tandem with each other,
Bring in Rangnick, Jazz Fusion. If Julian does not get control, stay away. Yeah,
I think if he comes in, it'll be like the slot, the supposed slot deal. The slot has been given total control over the transfers and whatever. So I think Nagelsmann will come in under the same thing.
We've got Tottenham forever. No director of football means no manager. It means no transfer. That's not correct. And Mia, that's really not correct, is it? Because a manager can come in and do everything himself, can't he? You there, Mia?
It's gone.
Anyway, Philip, do you want to take that question?
Yeah, well, no director. Okay, at the moment we're in a double whammy with no manager or no director of football. So the chances are there won't be anybody signed until the manager and or director of football is installed. There are a couple of rumours that people were looking for, which we'll deal with later on in the programme. But I don't see how that can actually happen. So Tottenham forever is actually quite right. I don't think there can be transfers made until the boys are in. Doesn't mean we can't be looking for them, and doesn't mean we can't have them lined up to make a move whenever, there's no point Daniel Levy lining up somebody and Nagelsmann saying, I don't want him. So I'd be surprised if we would buy anybody, but I expect once the managerial situation is sorted out, then there will be a lot of movement in and out.
What do you reckon to Ryan's comment there? No director of football means no manager, means no transfers, Mia.
Well, at the moment, I suppose a manager is a priority, and I don't know if a DOF means that we don't get no manager, because I think we're going to marry them up. I feel like we're going to get a manager and a DOF that suit each other, and I feel like that's where we're going with this. We're trying to get a manager and saying, who do you want as DOF, and getting them, or trying to get them, knowing what they want. So I don't know if that's true, but I do think obviously transfers are going to have to wait until we get this sorted, and hopefully we get it sorted soon, because otherwise I'm going to go up to Tottenham myself and give that Daniel Levy's head a flipping wobble, because I'm getting too annoyed about all this rubbish.
Oh God, Mia and I wobbling. I don't know. Anyway, big up.
You can be sure that if Nagelsmann is in the picture again, that he has told Daniel Levy who he'll work with, which DOFs he's prepared to work with.
Do you reckon Brian? Yeah, do you reckon Brian's right with Rangnick?
He could. Now, Rangnick is a great director of football. He's an absolutely crap manager, as he's proven on United. But he's got a fantastic reputation of organising things on the backroom side of things. So, yeah, probably would. And I mean, I'm sure Nagelsmann knows him well, but there's a problem. Rangnick is also involved with the Austrian national team. Yeah. So is he prepared to give that up? So I would say Rangnick is not going to be. I'd say it's going to be somebody else now.
Yeah. I want to say big up to Cheese Room John from the Cheese Room. Big up, John. I hope you're doing well, sir. First time I've seen you in here. Thank you for popping in. And everyone, please get over to the Cheese Room and hit a like and subscription over there. It's a great channel with great people over there. Did have the pleasure of being on there a long while ago, but it's absolutely great to see you, John. I hope you're doing well, sir. Who else we got in very quickly? Who else we got? He's saying, come on, Phil. How can you be saying that since Celtic lifted the cup? Do you think post... Do you want to read that one out, Philip? Go on.
Yes. Do you think... can you say that since Celtic lifted the cup? Do you think post Wooks say, yes, I'm leaving during the celebration? No, I'm only passing on what was said to me this morning. I'm not making up the comment. It's a friend of mine who's actually quoted what Postecoglou said, And they
said it yesterday. He said it yesterday in an interview. He was interviewed yesterday.
They love him up there, and I don't actually see him going anywhere. And I'd have to say that if Nagelsmann is in the frame, I would far rather Nagelsmann came than Postecoglou, But and just to say that, just for anybody interested in the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich have just gone 2-0 up in the game against Cologne. So
can you explain to people very quickly what the palpitations up there are? Very quickly.
If Dortmund win or draw, they win the league, I think. I'm not sure if they draw that. Certainly Bayern Munich have to win and hope Dortmund don't. So that's basically what's going to happen. But Dortmund are drawing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big RB Leipzig fan, so I've always have been. So I love the Bundesliga myself. I'm a Bundesliga guy. Would love to see him here for many reasons, but he will fail like other. Look, when he was at RB Leipzig, I loved him there, and I always wondered what would he be like if he came to Tottenham. So I am super, super excited about this man coming to Spurs. I really am. It's like good. I've got a manager I've always wanted at Tottenham. So
by the way, he might have to hold the front page on that goal for Bayern. The referee's now walking over to the monitor for some reason.
Okay,
it's a perfectly good goal to me now. I couldn't see what was wrong with it, but we'll see now.
Yeah.
Anyway, carry on. We'll know what happened.
David Clark says the list will shrink until there's only one, and the ex-Leicester coach left. You know the man who cannot be.
What is his name, David? I've got amnesia. What's his name? I can't remember.
Yeah. Mia, what's the ex-Leicester manager's name? What was his name? Can you remember for us? I've forgotten.
Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, say it 3 times and he'll appear behind you, Mia. Terry White, big up Terry White. He says, good afternoon. Who else has come in? I understand. I understand, He says, but every hour there's something new. If Gold says something, maybe then I will give some. Look, I understand what you're saying, Neil. I do get you. I do understand what you're saying. And Philip Amir, do you want to say something about this? I do understand what Neil is saying, but I think for our point of view, I think we have would you say we have a responsibility to give out this news if it comes?
Yeah, we do. Like, I mean, I think if everybody didn't say anything till it was confirmed, Sky Sports News would last 10 minutes every day instead of 24 hours. You know, these things, these public deserves to hear these things. A lot of them just don't come to fruition for whatever reason. But we've got a duty to pass on what we hear in good faith. And if it doesn't happen, well, it doesn't happen. But
yeah,
I think it's a bit of entertainment as well, like hearing what might be happening at Tottenham, rather than everybody sitting in the dark waiting for it to happen.
Mia, what do you want to say on that?
We can only report on what we're getting to, obviously, information-wise. Ali Gold's a bit of a tapping merchant, like a lot of the time. He only gets fed some stuff, not everything. So you have to look to other sources to try and work out what is what. And we can just report on what we know. Like, that's all we can do, really.
I just want to say big up to Wayne this afternoon, everyone. Hope you're all my best to your partner, Dermot, after what happened. I heard this. I had the same my nephew in 2021. The manager situation is becoming fun. I have to laugh. Yeah, we're doing all right. I spoke to the eldest lad there this morning. He's doing okay, and was up resting after being in hospital. So yeah, we're doing all right. It is sad, but look, you have to move on, sadly, and it takes time, but you do. But thank you very much, Wayne. And yeah, it is becoming a bit fun. This is why I was searching for the Benny Hill music this morning, because it's like Benny Hill running around the park with all the women chasing him. Philip's now thinking, I wish that was him.
It's Daniel Levy running around the park with all the fans chasing him.
Yeah, and Brian Daigle leading the chase. Beyond 72, it says, glad we have a plan. Could you imagine the mess we'd be without one?
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. We've got Mystery E, hey Dermatron and Philip. Darren Cloak says, what kind of poll is this? I don't understand. Right, the poll. It's simple. Was the slot deal real or not? Was the deal? Do you want to explain that, Philip? It's a quite simple question.
It seems that it looks as if, for once, Daniel Levy can't be blamed for the Slot situation. He was ready to announce Slot as a manager, and Slot pulled the wool over our eyes and used us to get a better deal out of his present club. So there may well have been discussions. There may well have been. Slot was trying to playing it down by saying there was no transfer talk, but I think he was only referring to the meeting they had with his own club on Wednesday. So there's a lot of confusion over it, but we're of the opinion that Slot played us to get a better deal and to stay in Holland, even though he was contradicting himself all the time. He said if his next job in Holland was in Holland, it would be a failure.
Yeah.
So that's really what it is. We're more or less wanting people's opinion whether he was coming or was he ever coming, or not coming. And he's not coming. You know?
Yeah, and we've got a super chat here from Wayne Bonner. Big up Wayne. Listen, if you want to get ahead of the chat, the chat is pumping. So if you want to get ahead of the chat, you can make it a super chat. It does help the channel grow, and it does help us put some money back in the channel so we can bring you better quality shows, better graphics, everything. It does help, and as well. And also, please do go to Mia's Patreon page as well. And subscribe to Mia's channel as a Patreon member. Wayne Bono says, forget the Benny Hill, go for the Monty Python theme.
Actually, I'm just thinking there. You know, like that famous Monty Python sketch, the Ministry of Silly Walks.
Yeah.
Spurs could be put in for a Tottenham team, the Ministry of Silly Managers.
Yeah. Mia, it's like the I don't know which Monty Python film it was, but it was the night, and he keeps chopping off his arms and his legs. And he's still trying to fight.
Yeah.
That reminds me of Tottenham.
Do you know what? Basically, I feel like that Daniel Levy is a bit like a Basil Fawlty. That's what I kind of see him as.
And Neil Schaff.
Help with the wife.
Yeah, and Neil, big up Wayne. But look, if anybody else does want to jump ahead of the chat, you can put it into a super chat. It does help. And please pick up them subscriptions as well. Membership. Only $2.99. If we get the 15 memberships, we are doing a members only fan show. So it's cheaper than Netflix, and you get more for your money when you pick up a membership with us. Neil Shafton saying, yes, we have a crisis over here in the States with fentanyl. The Mexican cartels are lacing everything with it, and people are dying, so it's bad. They even counterfeit pills and yeah, it is shocking. It really is shocking. But look, we are going to do a special stream on politics and world things in the close season, so watch out for that. Me and Philip have been itching to do something like that. So and me as well, Mia be good in that because it's over at 18, so Mia can be as rude as she likes then, without being a good little girl. Mr. EE says the Holy Grail. That's the name of the film. That's the name of the film. Darren says most song I've heard. How can Slot bottle it? Definitely leave you back. Oh no, the fuck.
No, it's there's two sides to this one, Darren. No.
Also, didn't actually Slot come out himself and say nobody asked for his compensation fee, so that means there was no fee even spoken about. So therefore, Levy did not agree to pay it because there wasn't nothing asked.
I think it's the spin the clubs put on it. They pulled out because of that, which I don't think is true. And again, we're not defending Levy. We're just saying things as we see as they actually happen.
Mr. E says Slot bottled it. Never seen anything so dumb on the stream before. Oh, okay. I said that. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. Okay. Huh? Did I say it or did somebody? Let me know, Missy E.
Somebody put it in the post, I think.
All right. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Final didn't have a quality replacement jacked up price. Yeah, that's true as well.
Although Ruud van Nistelrooy quit his job at PSV the same day, which is quite strange.
Ellie's asking Philip, how's your Sky Sports subscription coming along?
Yeah, it's one of the things I hate to pay, but I have to pay it to keep it, to watch the matches. So I spit at it every month and I send it to them.
Wayne Bonner says Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's only a scratch. Life of Brian. He's not the Messiah. He's a very naughty boy.
Brilliant. Oh, I love Monty Python. I really do.
As rude as you like, my kind of show. There you go.
Anybody ever watched? It's on Netflix. Is the final ever show Monty Python? Done about 8 years ago.
Yeah,
it is unbelievably funny. You should watch it.
David Clark says yes, and the crazy demo. We will get into that. We will come into that. John, I've got your question started, so I am going to get to it in a minute. So give me a couple of seconds. Where did this House Slot bottled it? Where did that come from? Did I say it?
It's all gone through there a while back, I think.
No, we're not saying he bottled it. We're just saying that obviously was it a bit of a ruse to get more money, which is fair enough.
Yes, it's commonly done anyway. He's not the first manager to do it.
Yeah.
Not the last.
We've got Hod God 10. Hi everyone. This is to be Levy's last throw of the dice. We need a director of football. Mon is not available until July to bring somebody in. Well, firstly, welcome. Hod God 10. Great to see you in. Thank you for coming in. And please hit the subscription button and come back if you enjoy it. It is. Is this the last throw of the dice, Mia?
I think that people will say that it was already the last throw of the dice a long time ago for Levy. So I don't know if a lot of people will buy it, even if it does work out. I'm sure that people are still going to have an issue. So I'm not sure if it really is, because I think it was a long time ago for many.
Yeah. It's John. It's my tongue in cheek, but you're grand, John. Don't worry about it. People can't take a tongue-in-cheek. Slot has lost some credibility, says Terry White. The way he handled the situation, personally, I'm glad he's staying in Holland. Do you know what, Terry? I actually agree with you on that.
He's going to find it very difficult to get a job outside Holland after this, because people will remember this,
Yeah. And Neil Shaft then said, it's going to come back. If only they offered Dyer and Sanchez the final, that he would have sold them.
No, I think no.
With Champions League, nice bottle.
Yeah. That's true. He has the Champions League to look forward to.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay. Just very quickly, big up to Tottenham Forever has become a YouTube member. Thank you so much, Ryan. You're very, very kind, sir. Welcome. So welcome to the family. And we look forward to having you on the member shows and even coming on for one of our debate shows as well. So do get in touch with us, and we'd love to get you on because you are good crack. You really are. Right, we've got a couple of start questions here, guys. So I'm going to start with this one from Cheese Room John. I give this one to you, Mia. Would Rodgers be better or worse or equal appointment to Nuno? Right, very quickly, Mia, for your answer. Nobody can be worse than the Garden Gnome. The Garden Gnome was the worst ever appointment we ever made. We were desperate and we had to pick somebody and we picked a Garden Gnome. So, Mia, would Rodgers be better or worse or equal?
I think it'd be equally as disappointing, to be honest with you.
Really? Yeah. Philip, what do you reckon?
Worse.
How can you be worse than the Garden Gnome? Seriously.
Yeah, it could be. It would be worse. And okay, I know Brendan Rodgers has probably his managerial record isn't that bad. He's won trophies, right? But his in the eyes of the Spurs fans, him coming in after Nuno, it would be regarded as worse. Equal at very best, but worse with most people.
I don't think he'd be worse. I think he'd be equal. I don't think anybody can be worse than Nuno. Nuno was just a disaster. He didn't speak to Harry Kane for 3 months, and that's your star striker, and then he down tools because of it. So really and truly, it was.
Well, let's just hope we can come to that anyway. We don't have to worry about
Nagelsmann anyway coming in. I'm excited. Big up Cheese Room John, and thank you so much for the question. Tottenham Forever's asked a question 2 or 3. If you could choose out of the 3 of you to be a director of football, all right. If you could choose out of the 3 of you to be director of football and manager, who or why? Right, Philip.
Well,
you're Mr. Levy. No, out of the 3. Oh, is he?
The 3 of us. Out of the 3 of us.
Right, you're Daniel Levy. Philip, okay. Who would you pick out, me and Mia, to be manager or director of football?
Oh, right, of you, God.
I would actually just twist about. I actually would probably pick Philip as manager because I think he's got the right level of calmness, but obviously firmness. And I think you'd be a good DOF because you're impeccable with your detail like management. I could be someone who could be like doing other things media wise and making sure everyone gives their heads a wobble. So we all get a job.
So you'd be like Doris the Tea Lady's assistant.
Yeah, and also I'm in charge of showers.
Yes,
I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. Oh dear. Look, Darren. Look, what does Chief Darren? Look, come on, man. Be fair. All right.
Let's be respectful.
Let's be respectful here, man. Okay, if you're not respectful, I will put you on a timeout. Okay, be respectful. Cheese Room says, I want Levy nowhere near the football club, but it isn't going to happen, unfortunately. Look, I know.
Yeah, not until the ownership. The Manchester United decision was not announced yesterday either, whatever was going on there. So
I don't know.
Waiting on that because that could have a relevance to what happens to Tottenham. If Jim Ratcliffe gets United, then the Kuwait, the Qatari boys might move on to us. Might.
Yeah.
They're also West Ham as well, so
Do you know what I always say is that I'm of the same opinion. Obviously, you know my opinion is that I don't think that Levy's what's best and Enoch's what's best for the club. But sometimes it is about the better the devil you know in a way because we don't know who's going to come in, and we could have someone who's like a Newcastle, but we could have someone who messes it up like an Everton. So you don't know who's going to come in and who could either do good or they might mess it up. So it is a risk, and I'm not saying I want to keep Levy, but that risk is obviously something that people do think about as well.
Mystery, he says, let's not forget there weren't any other takers than Nuno at the time. That is for sure. I remember when that appointment was made, right, and I felt so underwhelmed.
It was just the worst.
I mean, we're down to putting an advertisement in the Exchange and Martin. Nearly wanted football manager.
Yeah. Terry Powles, I haven't seen you before. He makes a really good point. He said, let's get in Redknapp in to run and control everything.
It's too old now. I don't know.
Too long out of the game. I mean, Harry Redknapp's a legend. I love him to bits, but I think it wouldn't be fair on him to besmirch his reputation and memory of what he did to bring him into a basic shit show that he might not be capable of doing at his age.
Yeah, who knows? But anyway, well, let's actually crack on with the show. There's 62 of you watching, which is wow. So please hit that like button, hit that subscription button, pick up your memberships. And also, if you want to get ahead of the chat, do make it into a super chat. It does help.
And if some of you could go over to my channel, because I've literally got 4 people. Come on now, guys. Spread the word, spread the love, and go over to my channel and share it to other people if you're going to be on this one.
Yeah, this is a joint stream, by the way. Anyway, look, guys, Nagelsmann was born on the 23rd in 1987 in Bavaria. He played for
Landsberg am Lech in Bavaria.
Yeah. He played for Augsburg in 1860 Munich at youth level and was captain of Munich under-19 team. In the 06-07 season, he was part of the second team, but made no appearances due to injuries. Nagelsmann returned to Augsburg for the 07-08 season, coached by Thomas Tuchel, but injuries injured his knee and missed cusses for the second time, damaging the cartilage. As a result, he decided to end his football career at the age of 20. He had already assisted his head coach, Thomas Tuchel, as a scout in the first half of the 2008. He studied business and admin in university for 4 semesters until he transferred to sports science, and then he concentrated on coaching, returning to his former club, 1816 Munich, as an assistant manager to Alexander Schmidt for the Munich under-17 team from 2008 to 2010. And then his managerial career he was manager for 1899 Hoffmann from 2016 to 19, then from 2019 to 2021 to my team in Germany, RB Leipzig, and then in 2021 to 2023 by Munich. And his honours as a manager, he won the DBF Pokal runners-up, that's the league in Germany in 2021. And then with Bayern Munich, he won the Bundesliga in 21-22 and the DFL Super Cup in 21 and in 2022. Philip, what do you think of Nagelsmann as a manager coming in? It shows he's got a good career, he's got a good record as manager. His playing career was very short, but do you think he's only 35? I think he'd be the youngest manager in the Premier League. Do you think it's good to bring a manager in young, or do you think we need a more experienced manager at Spurs?
Well, I mean, the thing that strikes me most about Nagelsmann is whenever he was manager of RB Leipzig, Bayern Munich paid a world record 25 million to get him to come to Munich. And Bayern Munich are not a club that do that for a guy they haven't tested out and checked out and like the look of what they're getting. So I would take it, the age is immaterial. He said normally players retire at 35, and that would make him 50 at the moment if you could use the same time scale. He's 15 years out of the game, and he's been able to hone his skills over those 15 years. So in this situation, no, I don't think age is really a problem, because he's been learning the trade since he was 20. And I think he's obviously, it's one of the great mysteries of life that he was sacked by Bayern Munich. I think it's because they reckon Thomas Tuchel could do a better job on Pep Guardiola. But we'll know what that happened there. You know, they're out of the Champions League. So that was a bit of a failure. But like, my only worry on this whole thing is the Real Madrid situation. Is Ancelotti leaving in the summer? And if he is Nagelsmann hoping to step in there or hoping to get a job in there? So it's up to us to nail him down as quick as possible and get him in. And hopefully that's what's going to happen.
And Mia, look, we all know we want the best manager in for Spurs. We all know we want Harry Kane to stay. Do you think Nagelsmann coming in actually sorts out the Harry Kane situation once and for all?
I don't know, really. Do you know what? My head's really gone rid of all this, but I don't know. I think that if he doesn't sign a contract, I don't think that means. The thing is about Harry Kane is, yeah, we could say we're not selling him, but that doesn't mean he's going to sign the contract. So Nagelsmann could have him for 1 year and then he'll be gone anyway.
Yeah,
isn't it up to Nagelsmann if Harry Kane does stay there for the next season? It's up to Nagelsmann to show Harry during that season that, hang on, there's a future here at Tottenham. This guy's going places. And that might entice Harry to sign a new contract. So it's a chicken and egg situation, really. You know, but I don't think Nagelsmann will come unless he's got assurances that Levy is not selling Kane this season.
Yeah, look, Harry Kane is coming into the last year of his contract, so we're going to have to see what happens. But it really is an important year. Does Harry go? Does Harry stay? He needs to come out and say something. He needs to come out and say, look, I'm going to stay, or sign a new contract, or give us some assurances what he's going to do. We've got Neil Shafton said He is a Ragnick product, and Carlo is staying at least at this moment. That's true. Yeah. Ed big up Ed M. Nice to see you. All I say is believe nothing that's coming out of the club. You're more likely to get the real truth from other clubs. Tottenham Forever says supporting you, Mia and Dave is more fun. Audio Rustin says, would you put a school teacher in charge at McDonald's?
Put in Dumbledore in charge of McDonald's.
Yeah. And then we've got Tenor Paul, big up Tenor Paul. Nagelsmann wanted Kane at Bayern Munich. Now, that's a very good point.
Yeah,
he did want him at Bayern Munich. And I'll start with you, Mayor, on this. Look, do you think Kane will be really happy with this appointment if it was to be announced next week that Nagelsmann's coming in? We've got, hopefully, say, Ragnick coming as director of football. Do you think that would please Harry Kane, to say, right, do you know what, Mr. Levy, give me another 2 or 3 year contract. I'm staying for the foreseeable future.
I don't know. It's an exciting appointment, to be honest. Like, it is a good appointment, and he could be playing football, the type of football that he and all of us want to see. But to be honest, I don't really care, because if he wants to stay, he should stay because he wants to, not because we have to convince him by a manager. No player should have that power. No player should have that power. I don't care who you are. And I feel like Harry Kane has a little bit too much power in that everybody's trying to tiptoe around him and do what makes Harry happy. No, we should do what's best for the club.
Yeah. That's true. Philip, what do you reckon to that? Nagelsmann wanted Kane at Bayern Munich. I mean, he did, and he now could become the Tottenham. So does that sort of convince Kane, you know what? I am going to commit my future here at Tottenham.
If Harry wants a really top class manager coming in to persuade him to stay at Tottenham, well, they don't come much better than Nagelsmann. So if that's the case, I mean, Harry Kane has shown loyalty to Tottenham over the seasons, really. And you know, becoming one of who was the other one club man of real note? Steven Gerrard, right? Stayed with Liverpool all those years and didn't win a title. He won cups, all right. He didn't win the title, I don't think. So I would say Harry Kane, if he hears Nagelsmann is coming, might be persuaded to at least give him this season. But then we've got the quandary. Daniel Levy's going to lose out on a substantial transfer fee if he lets Harry go for nothing at the end of next season.
Yeah.
That's something that has to be sorted out and agreed on, you know. But I'd be more, if Nagelsmann comes in, I'd be more happy that Harry will be with us for the next 2 or 3 years. He will sign a new contract.
Do you think he might finish his career at Tottenham?
Well, hopefully, hopefully he will, you know. And just to update everyone on the German situation at the minute, Dortmund are now 2-0 down at home to Mainz, and Bayern Munich are winning 1-0 away to Cologne. So at the moment, Bayern Munich are taking the Bundesliga.
Yeah, that's true. Look, we've got a question here. I'll start with you, Philip, and it's from Audio Astron. Big up. It says, what's worse for Levy? Being the chairman that sold Kane for X amount, or being the chairman that lost Kane for nothing?
That is a chicken and egg situation, really. It really is. I mean, he can't win either way, in my opinion, really. He can't win, because if he sells them, people are going to be walking up the high road with burning torches to burn his office down. And if he lets him go at the end of the season, they'll be saying, oh, why didn't you sell him last season? Did we get more money for him? I'll get money for him. So it's an absolutely horrible situation for Levy to be in. And that's why the managerial appointment could actually take that equation out of the question. Harry will stay and sign a new contract.
Do you know, you mentioned Harry Kane's name 3 times, and Dave Harris pops up in the chat. So big up, Dave, brother. I hope you're doing well. He says, some of my favourite people in the world are on the panel and in the chat. I hope everyone is keeping
well. How are you, Dave? How are you doing?
We are keeping fine, so big up. So
just discussing your favourite topic at the moment, David.
As for you mentioned Harry Kane 3 times, and Dave pops up in the chat. It's a bit like
it's because if he's saying anything negative about him, he got his little tingles, his spidey senses. Like he's got Kane senses. They tingle, and he's like, right, that's it. Someone's talking about my Kane.
I was hearing rumbling from Kildare. That's what I was hearing a few minutes ago. So that's suddenly he appeared in the chat. Big up, Dave. I hope you're doing well. You and your family are doing well, sir. And thank you for popping in. Like Ellie saying, Spurs ladies just equalised England with a brace. Big up, Ellie.
Yeah, that's right.
David Clark put in. Right, guys. Spurs coaches under Enid with worse points per game than Nuno, Sherwood, Redknapp, Ramas, Hoddle, Pleat, Sidini, and Joel. So he won't be he's not the worst. If you say well he didn't coach for as many games.
Well,
David,
he's only there for 6 months. So.
Yeah, David, he was a garden gnome. That's pure and simple. I mean, who wants to take this? It's actually a very good point he's making. There are managers with worse points per game than Nuno. But how come Nuno gets such a bad rap when there's other managers with worse records than him? I mean, I'm spicy Martinelli's name in there, but
and Redknapp as well. But then that's because, but the amount of games that you play makes a difference, because obviously you're going to be playing a shorter amount of games, so there's less data to go by. So some of that with that Nuno compared to like to other managers, is probably you can't really judge it on that amount of games. You have to judge it on the same amount of games. That's how I see it. Otherwise, the data's skewed.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Philip, on that? I mean,
I think Nuno. I think leaving aside the statistics of what he did and what he didn't do, right? I think his biggest failure was his lack of communication with the players. Like you said earlier on, there, he didn't talk to Harry Kane for 3 months. I mean, my God, that's criminal.
Yeah,
really. So I think Nuno was too aloof to get involved with the players really on a one-to-one basis, and the players react to that. Players like to have an arm put around them and told them you're a great lad and do this and the other. Nuno didn't do that, and as such, he paid the price for it. Statistically, he may have been okay, but he was ruining the atmosphere and killing the team spirit at the ground, and so that's why he had to go.
Yeah. Darren, he says, Dermot, brother, do you get fans to come on streams and talk to? We do. We are going to start up fan shows as from next season and during the summer as well. So watch out for them. And we are looking to make them members only. So get your membership and then pick the Harry Kane one and come on. And we'd love to hear what you've got to say. And I know he's an Irish fella as well. And I think it's in here. He's from Cork. Well, I live in Wexford, Dara. I know Philip lives up in Niche, and as Dave said, he's in Kildare. And like Dave, do you go to the Ireland games? So we were there on the 19th to see the boys in green. Can they beat the mighty Gibraltar? And I bring in my Mountarine in gear as well, Philip, by the way. So
you need it, yes, indeed. Just an oxygen tent as well, it's so high up in the atmosphere up there.
Dave, just bring the beers, man. Right. Neil Shafton, it's Spurs, and knowing this, the next manager might last as long as Nuno. With luck, this club, we've got Aussie 12, Dortmund are RC.
Yeah, Dortmund have done an Arsenal at the minute. They've blown it at the last second by the looks of it.
Here's a cracker. Here's a question here for you. I'll start with you, Mir, on this. Is Nagelsmann the front runner, or Angie, or the Celtic manager?
Postecoglou. I don't. Do you know what? I think that Postecoglou's already said he doesn't want to leave, so it'll have to be a Nagelsmann, really.
Yeah, I'd agree. It's Nagelsmann. I mean, Postecoglou. Like, I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, it's only Celtic managers, and that's a 2-horse race every year." But I think Paul Beattie in Australia will back it up. That everywhere he's been a success. He's improved every side he's gone to. So from that point of view, he wouldn't be a bad appointment, but Nagelsmann has to be the favourite.
Yeah. And FTS and Colin, afternoon, everyone. Big up, Colin.
Hey, Colin.
Big up. Hope you're doing well. And Colin is joining us tomorrow for Around the Grounds for our last season as we look at the relegation and we look at can Tottenham do it. So let's see. Carl Simpson saying, Super Nuno, come home.
Carl, whatever you're smoking, put it down. Just put it down, please.
Darren says, at the Irish Hotspur, watch your channel sometimes. Good to see fellow Irish supporters here. And he says, I love my brother Dermot and Philip here too. Well, big up, Darren. And I hope, what's it like in Cork? Nice and sunny. It is in Wexford. I'm sure it's nice and sunny in Kildare. And what's it like in Laois?
I don't know. I'm in Leitrim.
Leitrim.
Yeah, it's sunny actually. It's nice.
Oh God, here we go. He's gone.
Yeah.
Oh God, I got you in the wrong
county. I let you away with the first time, but not the second time.
I was wondering. You looked at me a bit funny. I was thinking, what have I said? Wrong county completely.
Wait till to beat Wexford in football next week. No, then I'll be slagging you.
Yeah, Mayo for All Ireland. Anyway, okay. So look, we'll go through a couple. We've got things in the banners here, and this is one of them. Well, we talked about the managers, Bobs, and all that. This is one here, Kulu. Buy him or send him back to Juventus. Look, for me, do you know what? I'd buy him. I think he's done enough to prove he'd be a good signing for us. He came in and he got us the top four, him and Bentancur, when we bought them last January. So for me, I'd buy him. I think it's worth it. Mia, where are you? Would you buy him or send him back to Juventus?
I've said all along that I would keep him because I think he's shown enough for me. I think that everybody had a bad season this season. It's been a really strange season for a lot of our players this season. And he's had that injury. He's young and you expect them sometimes to not always be in form. So I would personally keep him. But a lot of people are saying that that money could be spent elsewhere, but we'd have to get someone in that position. So we can't really spend, well, we can spend it elsewhere, but we're going to have to spend it on the same position, aren't we? Because we haven't got enough in that position. So I would buy him.
Yeah, tell you the reason I put that question in was something that cropped up overnight there was that this guy Solomon that plays for Fulham, he's a Shakhtar Donetsk player. He's been told by FIFA a rule that he can be signed on a free transfer in the summer. And he's a similar player to Kulusevski. And what I'm looking at here is Levy looks at this and says, I can save 32 million by signing Solomon on a free contract and letting Kulu go back. So it's kind of, I'd love to see Kulu stay, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised if this other guy comes in and takes his position. So,
yeah, and we have been linked with the defender from Galatasaray as well for 25 million. So
that's a joke. I mean, Levy's supposed to have offered 13 million on a 25 million buyout clause. So, I mean, we know where that one's going.
Yeah. But Mia, look, do you think Kulu's had a good season, Mia? Or do you think he's been like every other Spurs player, he's been inconsistent?
He's been very inconsistent. He's had an awful season for him because his standards, he set them really high, didn't he, when he come in, I think. But yeah, he's had an awful season. But a lot of our players, like I say, for me, this season's been a bit strange because Solly's been really off the ball, Kulu, then we've had the injury with Benny. You know, we've had an injury list so long all season. And I don't think we've had that in a really long time, you know. So yeah, I think that he hasn't been good at all.
Yeah. Mia, Ellie says she's going to join in the shower job as well. That's
sorry, it's a one-woman job.
Oh, we've got Neil Shafton. Kulu, simple size is too impressive to let him go. Big up to disabled team. If you're watching, email me because we want to get you on tomorrow for the Leeds game. So email and we'll send you a link so to get you on. I think Mr. E says, I think Jude Bellingham is more than ready for a move to a top Premier League team. But he's going to Real Madrid, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Madrid bound 100%. It looks like the deal is pretty much all but done, really. They've arranged the terms and everything with him.
Yeah.
And Maestro says, in the central midfield three, Kulu is way better than Lo Celso as an attacking midfielder. He threads the ball in and runs and transports the ball. Do you know what, Philip? What do you reckon to that? Do you reckon he would be better?
Oh, yeah. Lo Celso is one of these ones that, you know, I would actually keep Lo Celso as a squad player next season. But he didn't get on with Conte, and maybe he'll get on with the new guy. He might, you know, like, and I even heard somebody say this morning that Ndombele coming back to Spurs mightn't be a bad thing next season. Because you just don't know how he's developed during the season in Napoli, or he's won a league title. So, you know, there's a lot of things there, but Kulusevski is better than Lo Celso, fair enough. Well, I'm just wondering, will Levy keep Kulusevski given the options are there cheaper elsewhere?
Yeah. Now, did someone mention shower job, Wayne Bonner? Listen, there's 54 if you're in the house. Listen, and we only got 28 likes. Hit that like button and hit the like button and the subscription button on Mia's channel as well. And also, if you want to jump ahead of the chat, make it a super chat. Philip, that poll I put, was the slot deal real or not? 49% said yes, it was real. 51% said no, it was not real.
Yeah. Very close, isn't it? You know,
so we have 55 votes in that now. So that's
it's a lot. It's one of these things that until someone maybe in 6 months' time comes out with the truth of what happened, we'll probably never know. We can only go on our gut instinct that he was playing us, but we'll see. We'll see.
Now, Philip, Mia, listen, I'll start with you in this. Philip, I said this one. Would the appointment of a top quality manager reduce the demands for Enoch or Levy to sell the club? Look, for me, look, if we get a top quality manager and we start winning stuff, winning the League Cup, winning an FA Cup, going far in the league, getting into the Champions League, I think some fans would always want Levy and Enid out. You're never going to change their minds. But the people that are in the middle and the people that are one side or the other just want Tottenham to do well. So I'm more prepared to give Levy this last chance and see what happens if Nagelsmann comes in. Mia, where would you stand in that? I think you're very level-headed on this conversation, to be fair. Do you think would an appointment of top quality manager reduce the demands for Levy and Enid to sell the club?
Probably, I would say it would have to be to see what they do with this manager, because it isn't just about getting the manager; it's about getting everything right, Dermot, and that's what he has to do, is get everything right. Because I feel like that they're only going to sell the club when they want to sell, so I'm quite realistic in that fact. But I just want them, if they're going to stay, then they have to change and they have to prove it, and that proving it is going to take time, because people aren't going to be fooled by them. So they have to get it right for a long period of time before people start actually being on board with them. And I'm probably of that opinion as well. They've got to prove it, but not just a little bit in a short term. I want long-term proof that they're going to change if they're going to be doing the right thing. I want proof that they've got a plan. I want all these things to see what they're going to do. So no, just a manager isn't enough. It has to be more than that. They have to do the right thing.
There you go. That's the dogs after leaving. Dara Cloak here, he says, I was there when Spurs won the double. I started this in 60-61. Used to follow my dad to games as he used to travel for work there. Wow.
That's great.
I'd love to get him on.
I'd love to get a time machine and go back to that.
Yeah, but I'd love getting these, like you, Philip. I love touching into your knowledge and your memories of Spurs and the histories. I love. I mean, do you know what I mean? I could sit for hours listening to you talking about Tottenham from the past. And
you know, it would be great, Dermot, during the summer if we got Dara on the show to discuss.
Yeah,
just a chat about Tottenham in the old days.
Him and David Clark.
Yeah, exactly.
And a few of them, and talk about the days when they were young.
Good old days. Yeah.
Talking when they were young, and what did they see? What was football like back in the 50s and 60s? And like you in the 70s, me and Ellie remember the 80s. Mia remembers the 90s a bit like Dave, and that it really would be. But what would your reaction be? Would an appointment, say, of Nagelsmann as manager, would that reduce the demands, do you think, Philip? And if so, do you think you could please every fan?
No, you'll never. No team ever. I'm sure Manchester City have a few fans who don't even want Pep Guardiola there. Strange as that sounds, you'll never ever get 100% backing for any manager. Never. But I think what we've got with Spurs, I think there are some Spurs fans who, if we got a reincarnation of Bill Nicholson to come back as manager, they wouldn't be enough. You know. I'd say 50% of the fan base, 60% of the fan base will probably accept a good manager as great and give Levy another chance. But there's a lot of the fans just, I think Levy has just done too much to them, and they'll never forgive him. And that's quite understandable. You know, it's quite understandable. But I think the majority of the fans would probably say, yeah, okay, if he wins something, we'll stick with this guy until he fouls up, as some managers invariably do. Because if you stay a place too long, you are going to blot your copybook.
Yeah, I mean, Mia, look, you look at Enoch over we've had how many 14 managers or around about that since Enoch took over, and we've had our most longest service managers was Harry Redknapp and Pochettino. Do you think Levy now has to get it right? He has to get it right, if for him to stay at Tottenham, or is he getting it right for his legacy for when he leaves Spurs? Because if he leaves Spurs now, all people are going to think of him, he was the man that ruined Tottenham Hotspur. He gave us a stadium, he gave us a training ground, but we weren't successful on the pitch. Do you know what I'm getting at?
Was that Mia or me?
Well, that was for Mia, but for you, Philip, do you want to take that? Oh, sorry, Mia's back now. Yeah, go on, Mia.
Sorry, I had to answer the door. My bad. No. Go on, sorry.
Do you want me to answer the question again, or did you get it?
About Levy, what he's going to be seen as, basically, if he obviously, No, of course, people aren't going to view him in a positive light. Just because he's come in, and obviously when he came in was in such a bad place, he has to continue on what they've been doing and continue it on the pitch. So of course people aren't going to see it favourably. People are going to see it as that it was a really bad tenure for them because of what happened. However, that's obviously subjective, because what people might view as good and bad. So it's a difficult one, because a lot of stuff is quite subjective. So, but yeah, of course, a lot of people are going to see that. Of course they are. Absolutely. And I agree with them. It hasn't been great if he doesn't continue it on the pitch and try his best to do what's best by the club. What's on the players. And we spent money, we just spend it stupid. Like, do better when it comes to recruitment, do better when it comes to managers and sticking with a certain type of manager. Stop getting the manager that plays one style of football and then another style of football, because that just messes everything up.
I mean, Philip, Dave makes a good point here. Forget Nagelsmann. He says it still don't think it's enough unless they sort out all the problems in the squad this summer. Our squad is a mess. So we do need. I agree with Dave. Even if
I agree with him, but I don't think the most optimistic Spurs fan isn't going to say all the problems will be sorted out in one transfer window. All Nagelsmann can do is come in and solve the most crucial of the problems. That's the centre back issue, the defense. He needs to sort the defense out first. If he gets that sorted out, things will happen eventually, that maybe in 2 or 3 transfer windows. I think patience is going to have to be the word. If we can see that he's making progress, that he's buying players that are going to improve the squad, then I think that will at least give people say, well, we'll give Levy a bit of a chance. Unless, of course, somebody comes in and wants to buy the club, and that's it. But I think it's going to be this is why it's important to get a respected manager who can do things. And Nagelsmann is that person. I mean, we're all crying out for 1 or 2 centre backs. If he comes in and doesn't look at that problem straight away, then there's going to be rumblings. So he's got to know what the priorities are when he comes, and that's the defence.
Yeah, I mean, look, Mia, we all know our defence is a problem. Do you think that's the number one job he has to sort out when he gets in, is our defence?
No, if he gets in, whoever comes in has to sort out the defence and the midfield, because it isn't just the defence, it is the midfield that's a problem, because it can't connect us. One, like from the back to the front, and helping out with the defence when we are trying to defend and get the ball away. So for me, I think that it is definitely the back line and it is the midfield, no matter who comes in. And we have to get rid of all these deadwood players. But like Philip said, you can't expect it all in one go. It's not going to happen, because we've seen what happened with Chelsea, with Forest. When you get too many players in, they just don't gel. So it has to be done in a reasonable manner. So people are going to have a reasonable expectation. Don't think that all the players that you want out are going to be outed in one go, because I don't think that's going to happen, and that's unrealistic.
Yeah, but look, we've had managers come in before, and they've been told you've got to work with you work with, like a Eric Dyer or a Daniels or a Sanchez or a Davis, and they won't spend the money, and that is the problem. We haven't spent money. We have
spent money, but we spent it wrong. We haven't. Spent it.
Yeah, but the problem I'm making, Mia, is right. We're trying to recycle the same players under each different manager. Same players. Conte came in when we got into the Champions League. Hang on, just please let me finish. Came in, and they absolutely played out of the skin. This season they've been downright awful. All the same mistakes are back in. We've tried the same players that have been under Mourinho, at the end of Poch, Mourinho, Conte, Nuno. Same players, same mistakes, over and over and over again. We just won't sell them. Or is it because, Mia, we can't sell them?
Well, we have. I've read things today saying that we're willing to get rid of Davies. We're willing to get rid of Sanchez. We're willing to get rid of Tanganga. So we are we are going to this summer get rid of players, and there will be changes made because we're going to try and get rid of those players. And we've read that there is going to be contracts ripped up. So I think that people are surmising, guessing that we're going to have the same backline, which I don't think we're going to when we go into the season. I think we are probably going to get rid of players, and we are going to get some in, but just don't expect a miracle of getting rid of 15 players because it's not going to happen.
I just want my defence sorted out. I just want 2 competent centre backs. And we've got Destiny, and we've got who was the other player we bought?
Pedro.
We've got
Chet Spence as well.
Yeah, we've got Emerson. We've got Reggie coming back. I think Reggie be a great backup for the fullbacks. So if we get somebody, we've got Longley, we've got Romero. We buy another centre back in there, another 2 centre backs in there. And a decent goalkeeper. That's the defence sorted. It doesn't take a lot of money, but we just need to stop recycling these players, Philip, again and again and again.
They see 15 million quid. They're looking for Davis. I mean, good luck with that. I think what we also need, as Mia rightly says, we need a link man in midfield. You know, essentially an attacking midfielder to come in as well. But that will all come in due course, you know. And but so we have to be a little bit patient. And the patient monitor, the patientsometer, that's the word they're putting on it, is going to start at a higher level if someone less than Nagelsmann comes in. You know, if you appoint Brendan Rodgers, then the patience monitor is going to be at 75 degrees before we even start. But you appoint Nagelsmann, it comes in at 2020. So this is why it's so important to get it right, to get the fans on board from day one.
And Dave says, I've got your other point to bring up, Dave. I will say that it says Levy and Enoch don't have time with the fan base, and they don't.
No,
they don't. We all know that they don't have fan time.
But the thing is, you're saying they don't have time, but of course they do. They're not going to sell this club until they want to. So they have as much time as they bloody want, because they're not going to sell unless they want to. You can protest all you like, but they're not going to go until they want to go. They're the facts.
Yeah,
that's a good point, actually.
That's a very good point. That Dave says, I get what you're saying, Philip. He says, but fans won't tolerate a manager who's been not being backed fully. I don't mean money. I mean sorting out issues. If they leave us short again this summer, we'll repeat it. And that's the point I was making.
Yeah, but you can't do it all in one summer. You can't do it all in one summer. That's physically impossible.
Yeah, we're not saying do it all in one summer. The point is, do the summer. Look at the summer. Concentrate on the defence. Okay.
No, but Dave's kind of saying there, it means sorting out the issue if they leave us short again this summer. So that's kind of saying we've got to get as much done as possible this summer. He'll do as much as is humanly possible. Yeah. But he won't be able to do it all. It's just not possible.
Don't forget, Poch didn't do it all in one go. And why did Poch didn't do it in one go? So I don't know why you expect any manager to do it in one go.
See, Poch was given the chance to get rid of all the deadwood. No manager since Poch has been given. Yeah, but no manager since Poch has been given the chance to get rid of the deadwood. How many times do we have to watch an Eric Dyer make a mistake, or a Davis, or a Sanchez make a mistake, or Hugo make a mistake in goal, or a Skippy making a mistake in midfield? How many times do we have to go through this again and again?
And Højbjerg, don't forget Højbjerg if you're going to mention Skip, because Højbjerg has been a massive letdown.
I'm Højbjerg's biggest fan. But Højbjerg has played some.
Højbjerg's a kid. Højbjerg's an elder. Skip's just a kid. You're putting a lot of Skip's been Højbjerg and Skip have been awful because they don't work together.
Yeah, but one thing, Mia, I'm going to say, we play Højbjerg all the time, so of course he's going to be tired and he's going to make mistakes. It's natural. He doesn't get the rest because we haven't got the cover in midfield.
Because we had Basuma and Benny out, and don't forget exactly. Skip's just a kid, and he should be played every single week, expected to do stuff when he's still just a kid. So Højbjerg, but so Skip, you could use those excuses as well, but I don't excuse either of them.
No, and I'm not passing Højbjerg. I wasn't going to, but you look at the times. Eric Dyer, that goal against Liverpool, he headed it back, a mistake. You look at Davis, the mistake against Aston Villa. You look at the mistake Sanchez did against who was it against? Brentford and other teams this season. We keep using the same We keep using the same players again and again and again without replacing them. And we can keep going on this road. If we get Nagelsmann in, we've got to give Nagelsmann the full control of players he wants in, he wants out. And if we don't, we're going to go down the same path next season.
Yeah, but you've got to give him patience. You can't expect him to do it in one go. Yes, give him that, but he can't expect to get 15 players out and then 15 players in. It just doesn't work.
I'm not saying about 15 players. You two are taking me up wrong. I'm not saying about 15 players out, 15
But it's a lot of players that people are saying they want out. That's a subjective thing. Again, what people want in and out. I'm just saying it's a lot of players to get out.
Yeah, I just want my defence sorted out for next season. Give us a competent defence.
But it's not just about the defence, it's the midfield. Because if you've got a good defence but haven't got the midfield to join it up, we're still going to be stuffed because we're still not going to be able to join it up. It's still going to be disconnected. So we need more than that. That's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know, I mean, look, I've spent Darren says Højbjerg is tired, Philip, and he is tired. He's a good player. I've played football during my heyday as well. And being a midfielder who plays too much, it's not an easy job. And I salute Højbjerg this season. Højbjerg, for me, look, I love Højbjerg for his determination and his grit. And I just love the way he plays. I've always been a big fan of Højbjerg. But he has been played too much, Philip. And especially with, as Mia said, with Benny being out and Basuma not playing well, why not play Papa Sarr? We've got enough midfielders in the club to cover. So why are we sticking to Skip and Højbjerg? Why not pay Papa Sarr? And with this patient thing again, I don't think Nagelsmann's going to get the same honeymoon period as everyone else because the fans are so fed up. We want success.
Yeah, I know the fans are fed up, but I mean fans have got to realize. Mia's right. You can't, we can maybe fix the problem 50% this summer and 50% maybe the following transfer window. And fans are going to have to accept, as long as they can see progress being made, as long as the manager doesn't come in and sits with the same players, doesn't get rid of any and doesn't buy anybody, then there'll be war, absolute war. But if he is seen to at least trying to move things on, to move on the deadwood and get in replacements that can do the job for us, then they've got to give him time. They cannot be on his back after 6 months, or why didn't you do this so quickly? It's not an easy job getting rid of a load of players, especially the players who have blotted their copybook so badly at Spurs. Which clubs are going to want to take them? Bear that in mind as well. You know?
That's the thing, though. I don't understand this whole, you can't, right, we've gone so far from winning something, right? We've gone so far away from it where we were with Poch that people are going to have to lower their levels and their expectations. We ain't going to win anything for a long while yet. So people need to taper their expectations of the club. I'm sorry, but that's how it is. That's reality. People need to live in the real world.
Look, for me personally, my own personal opinion, I'm just fed up. I'm fed up with the failures. I'm fed up with season after season of not winning anything.
You can't be expected to win everything every year, though, Mia, like it's unrealistic.
Mia, I can remember when we were successful. Philip can remember when we were successful.
But we were successful all the time. We had we had years between it where we weren't. And this is the longest period, and I get it. And we got so close with Poch, but he didn't get us over the line. Those players didn't get us over the line. The owners didn't get us over the line. All of them didn't get us over the line, but we were so close. All but for one penalty kick, we could have won against Man U. And that was that's ridiculously close. So we were very close, but now we've gone so far from it that people need to lower that expectation because we need to build.
Look, we need to build, yeah. But we should have done that. We had the chance to do that under Joe, as Dave says. It's all a well good calling for patience. Where was that with Joe saying
Conte didn't want to stay? Conte did a contract that wasn't longevity. So why would we give Conte patience when he didn't want to stay?
Yeah, but like with Joe say, Philip, it got us to a cup final. We sacked him before 6 days for a cup final.
Yeah, well, that was unforgivable, to be honest. Really.
Yeah, absolutely. But people calling for it because people didn't like the style of football that Jose was playing. Everybody was moaning about it.
Yeah, That's true. I want to say big up to William Kelly. Big up, sir. Hope you're doing well in Down Under in Australia. It says, how can you win anything when the Man City win every trophy? Look.
Well, just to give a quick update in Germany, Cologne have just been awarded a very controversial penalty. They've scored it, so it's one each, and now Dortmund are winning the league even though they're losing. So
that sounds good.
It's 10 minutes to go. 10 minutes to go.
Darren says this fan base was so impatient with our previous managers. We needed it since the beginning. Yeah. And he also says, how can you be so sure Conte didn't want to stay? Was he offered the contract? And that's the point. We don't know what was going on. Let me get the point out, Mia, before you jump in. And I will give this to you first. We didn't know what went behind the scenes. We know Conte went through an awful lot of heartache with deaths of his 3 close friends. Very short and the thing. So, Mia, look, do you think it was more Conte was burnt out than he didn't want to stay, and he was more fed up with the same players making the same mistakes again and again and again, and he just got fed up with not getting the players he wanted, not players making mistakes. We were 3-1 up against Southampton. We drew 3-3. We conceded after Højbjerg telling the players in the tunnel, look, stop, look, we got to be on our ball. Look at this, what they're going to do, and they go and do it. Do you think it was just he got burnt out?
I think he was a bit like what Carl Simpson said. He's a mercenary. He came for the money. He was throwing tantrums all over the place, little comments here and there in press conferences. We all know what Conte's like. He's done it every single club. He's a mercenary. So, yeah, he wanted to get out. He wanted his way out, and that's what he did. He did it on purpose to get himself out. He didn't just walk away. If he was unhappy, he should have walked away, but he didn't because he wanted the money.
Do you agree with that, Philip? Do you think Mia's right calling him a mercenary?
Well, he's got form at every club he's been at. During the second season, he's fallen out with just about everybody. So yeah, I think now maybe mercenary is too strong a word, but I think he realised earlier on this season that he wasn't going to be able to do what he wanted to do at Tottenham, and he started dropping hints all over the place. And some of the comments he made at press conferences were sackable offences, to be honest with you. Some of the comments he made. So I think he was never offered a new contract, and I think. Well, we were all very keen on Conte at the start. As the season progressed, it became less and less enthusiastic about the style of football. And at the end, I was quite glad to see him go.
Look, and big up John Fitzpatrick as well. And I hope you're doing well, sir. It says, lower your expectations because Levy doesn't have a clue how to run a football club. 5 years of decline. And now the buck must stop with him. I'll start with you in this, Philip, before we move on to our last bit of the show. Do you think Levy has to take responsibility for sacking managers like Conte, like Mourinho before 6 days before a cup final, like putting Mason in against Pep, not bringing in Nuno when we could have gone after a decent manager? Do you know? Sure. Not even if you can go back to Poch, not even actually giving Poch the time when Poch deserved the time to see through that season after the Champions League final. Do you think he needs to take responsibility for the mistakes he's made?
Of course he does. He is the chairman. The buck stops with him. He is the chairman. No one else. He can't blame anybody else. He is to blame. End of story. And if we don't, let me say, unless he mends his, he's not going to mend his ways, but unless he realizes that. How many lives has he got? Like cats have 9 lives. Levy must be on his 9th live at the minute, really.
Yeah.
He's made so many mistakes over the year. Now, he's done good things as well. He's built the stadium, he's built the training ground, whatever. He's done that, fair enough. But it's on the pitch that we want to see the success, and he is culpable and completely at fault for sacking managers when he shouldn't have done, bringing in managers that were not suitable for the job. And ultimately, this, to me, he's got to get this one right. He has to get this one right.
I like this, but Mainz and Dortmund fans are celebrating together. Yeah. I think that's brilliant. Look, but before we move on to our last bit of the banner of the show, more of an end of season sort of talk. Look, we all want Tottenham to be successful. We all want them to win trophies. We all want them to do well. We love our club. We all love Tottenham, all of us. We've all supported Tottenham a long time. Do you think that if Nagelsmann comes in, right, and gets it right, and we are successful, and we start winning trophies, and fans see progression, like see after we start the season, like this season, we had the best start to ever in the Premier League season, and it just tapered away. Do you think if Nagels comes in and we see a progression, the fans may give him a chance? Because somebody put in the chat, and they are right, it was the fans that threw Jose under the bus. It was the fans that threw Poch under the bus. It was the fans that threw Conte under the bus. How many times did we see on other channels, get Conte out now, he's the problem. Get Jose out now, he's the problem. Is it time that we actually looked at it properly and actually blame the players that they are the problem?
Oh, sorry, go on, Philip.
No, go on.
I think, to me, is that what we say as fans doesn't make any difference. Personally, I don't think it makes any blind bit of difference what we think. I'm just saying, in the fact is that people complain that Jose was gone, but they also a lot of fans were complaining they didn't like his style of football. So obviously fans have, like, they flip flop and change their minds, which is fine. It's like, for me, I think a manager, as long as they're tenable, I want them to stay. And I think if fans start seeing an improved style of football, I think that will make a big difference. Because although we had the best start, a lot of people were saying this won't last, we can't carry on playing this way because of the style of football. So for me, it makes a difference. I think people, if they start seeing that they can believe in on the pitch, that they want to go and watch their team play, I think that will make a huge difference to how people feel about Nagelsmann. I really do.
Philip, you wanted to come in there?
No.
No, seriously though, Philip, though, the question I am asking, look, the fans, you know yourself, Philip, fans will call them for Conte to go, they call them for Jose to go, for Poch to go, they will call them for Nuno to go, which is understandable because Nuno is a garden gnome. But they were calling for managers to go. But Conte said it in his press conference, the players need to take responsibility. They need to look at the players. Yeah, so is it about time the fans start shouting? Say if Nagels comes in, right, and 6 months into his reign, he's not doing as well as we hoped he'd do, right? You get fans saying, "Oh, get Nagelsmann out. He's useless. He's this." But we're still playing with the same players that threw other managers under the bus. And on top of that, Philip, how many times this season did we see players not even playing for Conte? Yeah. Not even trying on the pitch.
Just before I answer that, Bayern Munich just scored again, so they're now winning the league. Listen, this thing about
not
fans,
good for my heart.
Fans never sacked the manager in any team's career. It's the chairman sacked the manager. If you use the same ideology that fans sacked Pochettino, right? Why isn't Levy resigning now? He hears people calling for his head. Why isn't he going? If you get my drift, you know what I mean.
But Philip,
fans.
But Philip and Mia, we've known this season the players did not play for Conte. They didn't know the players that did not have let them down.
But the fans didn't. The fans do blame the players. If you hear the booing that goes on during the games, that's fans blaming players.
Yeah, but how many fans have come on? How many fans have come? Yeah, I know what you're saying, but how many fans have come on to shows like ours and say, and we've seen on Twitter and we've seen in group chats, get the manager out now. It's the manager's fault. Get him out now. He's playing defensive football. He's playing this.
That's because when you're playing players out of their positions, you're playing a Sonny, not the best way you get the best out of Sonny. That is a problem. That is a problem. Like, you can't play a player without playing his best attributes. Then you're just shooting yourself in the foot by doing that.
Yeah, but you can't keep blaming the managers all the time.
But you can, because they do. But the players do get a slice of the pie. But managers have to take responsibility because they're the ones who instruct the players. They're the ones who are supposed to coach the players. So you're supposed to be coaching. That's what you're paid 50 million a year for.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is they cross that white line. There's nothing the manager can do. There's nothing Levy can do. Them players are out there. Now, hang on, just let me finish. The players are out there to do a job. How many times this season have they come out and not performed? How many times have we seen Conte or Stellini going ballistic on the touchline, or Ryan Mason going ballistic because the players don't perform? You cannot blame the managers. You cannot blame Levy for that. That's down to the players, and these players have to take responsibility for their failures. And the same players have failed Jose, have failed Poch, have failed Conte, have failed Nuno, and if some of these players are here again, they will fail Nagelsmann, whoever comes in. These players have to take responsibility, take a hard, good look at themselves in the mirror this summer and realize I'm wearing the shirt. This shirt is loaned to me. It's not given to me. This shirt is not, I haven't bought this shirt. I'm loaning this shirt. I'm renting this shirt. They put on a Tottenham Hotspur shirt. They should play with pride and 100% commitment. If I went on, Mia, if you went on, if Philip went on, Dave, William Kelly, whoever in the chat came on, they will give 110%. These players this season have not given 110%. And you cannot blame managers and you cannot blame the owners for that. It's them players. And them players have to look at themselves in the mirror this summer and take a good hard look at themselves and actually think, can I do better this next season? And the answer to that question is a damn well 100% fucking yes.
The thing is, I agree that the players have to take some of the responsibility, 100%. But it's a bit like any job, Dermot. If you're in work and your manager above you doesn't instruct you correctly how to do your job or doesn't encourage you to do it correctly, then there's going to be a problem, isn't there? There's going to be a problem. You're going to have unhappy staff. If you're constantly doing a certain thing that's going to not encourage them and not get the best out of them, you're going to have unhappy staff who don't work correctly.
Yeah. That is absolutely spot on, mate. I've been in a job situation where we hated the guy that was managing us, right? We literally hated going to work every day. Then we had another guy come in who we loved, and we worked far better for him. So the same thing goes with football managers. As far as I can see, a lot of Spurs players got fed up with the tactics that Conte was giving them to play, and they kind of down tools. Now, it's unforgivable. They shouldn't have done it, but they did. And that's what has us in 8th position in the league at the moment. So next season, there's got to be an improvement on this. The players have to step up.
Yeah, look, I get what you're saying about managers. I get it. I do. I agree with you. But the players don't seem to get any of the blame here from people.
That's such a lie. So many they do. They do. We always go about the players.
They were booed off against Brentford last season. Is that not the fans giving displeasure to the players?
I think it was more given displeasure to Levy, to be fair.
No, it was the players.
No, it was the players. So many of us come on here and slag off the players and say they weren't good enough. It was their fault. Like I just said earlier, it was Skip's fault for one of the goals. Yeah, and Hoy behaving good enough. Dyer's definitely not good enough. We've said this all the time. We've said it all the time. We say about the players, Dermot. Not at all do we not say about the players.
So can I ask you one more question on this before we move on? So do the players then? So I'm going to put it bluntly like this, right? Poch, Jose, Nuno, Conte, right? Same players under them, same 4 managers. I'll start with you, Philip, with this, then I'll let you finish on it, Mia. Philip, out of 100%, how much do you give the players blame out of that 100%? If you had a big pie, right? 100% pie. And you had to give blame between the manager, them 4 managers, and them same players that have played under Jose Poch. How much percentage of the blame do you give to them players, and how much blame do you give to the manager?
Well, the manager's the one in charge. He's the one that makes the decisions. He sets out the team. He gives the tactics. So I know the players are culpable up to a point. So I'd say 65-35 manager to players.
Mia? You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. I would say 60% manager, 40% players.
Okay, fair enough. I'd give 60% players, 40% manager. But that's just my point.
Well, David has just said here about managers, about them not coaching. Jose came in and it was well known that he didn't coach the players because actually he said, you've been overcoached with Poch. I'm not going to do much with you. And he sort of didn't really coach them right. And Conte, he was just so rigid and like with the way that he coached that they got fed up because they didn't try anything different. So So yeah, Jose didn't coach them actually, and Conte, he didn't do it in a way or anything to, make them encouraged.
Look for me. This is for. I would love to do a show on this, just on this subject, so we will do that. But big up, Davey says we really got to say Mourinho and Conte were not training them properly or coaching them properly. When players have complained about multiple managers, then you have an eternal problem. He is very true on that. Guys, we're now going to go to the last bit. Look, I want to say very happy birthday to Gaza, who's 56 today. So happy birthday to you, Mr. Gascoigne. I hope you're doing well. And Philip, before we go on to our Spurs player of the season and flop of the season, do you want to give a little insight into the Championship player final?
Dortmund just equalised, by the way, so they're now winning the league. The Championship playoff between Luton and Coventry starting in about 15 minutes, which will be excellent. The two teams we didn't expect to get there, to be honest, because they're the underdogs in the big way. So, I'm going to watch it. It should be interesting. I mean, it's a huge step up for both teams, especially Luton, the smallest ground probably in the Premiership, So, looking forward to that. It should be interesting.
And Coventry, are at bottom of the league, and they've gone all the way up to the playoff final. So, who do you want to win, Luton or Coventry?
Luton. I want Luton to win, I think.
You want Luton?
Can I just say to Dara Cloak, can you stop saying me old lady, because you call them by their names and that's really disrespectful. I have a name, thank you.
He is an elderly gentleman, Mia, so give him
it doesn't, but he calls you by your name and Philip by his name. So I'm sorry, but you've mentioned my name more than once, and it isn't that difficult if you can understand what your name is and what Philip's name is. I find that disrespectful.
Can I just correct myself there? Bayern Munich have won the league on goal difference.
Oh my God. I'm so confused.
Oh my.
They won it by, hang on.
Dortmund just got a late
they won it on goal difference. The both games finished, Bayern won 2-1 and Dortmund drew 2 each. So I'm trying to get an update on my football score here. God, this is confusing.
Confused? What's he going to be like? What's he going to be like for tomorrow for the relegation battle, Mia?
Oh my God. It's going to keep going. It's going to change so often. We're going to be like, I don't know, this was this a minute ago. And we're like, refreshing it. Mine hasn't refreshed yet. And you'll be like, no, mine's refreshed.
Yeah, Bayern have won it. They're jumping around on the pitch there. So anyway.
Okay. Look, Philip, we'll have that conversation. We will do a show on that on the players and managers, and we'll look at the stats and we'll try to make sense of it. But look, anyway, Luton or Coventry for you?
I think I'd love to see Luton win it. I would love to see Luton.
Yeah, so would I actually. I used to live near Luton, and there was, and I was saying years ago when I was a child, if a nuclear weapon wasn't going anywhere, you should shove it on Luton. For some apparent reason, I don't know why. Anyone watching living in Luton, it's a lovely town.
Yeah. David Pleat loves it.
Yeah, David Pleat. Yeah, David Pleat loves breaking around corners in Luton. I heard the AA are now sponsoring Luton and RAC are sponsoring.
Keep going.
We will explain that, and that we will explain what we mean by that in our over 18 show during the summer. Darren says sorry, Mia.
No worries.
And he says my apologies. Big up, Darren. We had a super chat. Where did that go? Mr. William Kelly, I do apologize, my sir. He sent in a super chat. Big up, William. He says, Nagelsmann will not be our next manager. Get Angie in now.
I think William might have missed the start of the program where we mentioned what.
Well, I'm going to go through it again when we finish. We'll end up on the.
William, listen, it was great to meet you in Dublin a couple of weeks ago. Hope you got home safe, man.
Yeah, and I apologise for not meeting you. He still hasn't sent me my cockerel yet.
No, I'm going to bring it to the Irish game and give it to you then.
Yeah.
Because it'll get broken in the post if I send it that way.
So there you go. So it's going to get another trip. He's gone from Leitrim to Leitrim.
Australia to Leitrim, back to Dublin again.
Yeah, back to Dublin again. But big up, William. And I hope you and the young lad and the missus are doing well, sir. And listen, we need to catch up. So get in touch with me and we'll have a talk soon. But big up, William. Thank you so much. Right. We've got a few people here. Luton and Tommy Robinson. Great. Just what we need. David says, "Love that, Derek. You must be great." Oh yeah. What a choker! Late winner for Bayern. You couldn't make it up. You know, they couldn't. Dave was saying. Dave said, "Derek Mia is not old. Is not old, old lad. Mia is a really nice person, and she is. Mia is the jewel in our crown." And I say that, and I hope Mia takes it the way it's meant. She is the jewel in our Spurs crown. So big up everyone, and everyone go over to Spurs between the lines. Hit description, hit you like, because Mia might give you a head or wobble. Right, guys. Well, sorry, I'm going for Luton. You're going for, so we're going for Luton. So come on, Luton.
Yep. Come on, Luton.
Though my aunt lives in Coventry, so technically I should be supporting Coventry, but don't tell her. She's not watching. Right. Spurs player of the season and flop of the season. Right, we're going to start with flop of the season. I'm going to start off with flop of the season. I'm going for Mr. Richarlison. That's my flop of the season. What a waste of fucking money. Philip?
Yeah, regretfully, I have to agree with you. I think he's been completely underwhelming. I thought when he went to the World Cup and scored those brilliant goals for Brazil, he was going to come back and blow the place away. But, one goal in the Premiership and a couple in the Champions League for 60 million is not a great return.
Oh, for
right.
Mia, who's your flop of the season? Bring your goggles on top.
Oh, we've lost him again.
Normal service to be resumed as soon as possible.
I would say my flop of the season is everybody barring Harry Kane.
Dara's going, my flop of the season, Perisic. Now that's a good point. Or Richarlison. How about Perisic?
Assists. I'll give it. I wouldn't put him in that category, mainly down to the assists. Now he only scored one goal. We thought he'd have a lot more than that, but you know, player of the season.
I said apart from Kane, everybody else is a flop.
Just very quickly, this is a very good point by Hot God 10. I love the name. I love the picture. Ellie's gonna love you because she's a massive Glenn Hoddle fan. So there you go. So you got a new best friend there in Ellie. He says, I think you're onto something there. He's talking to Dave. I think the players are too chummy with Levy. Danny Rose as a prime example. We saw that in the documentary, didn't we, guys? They'll go to Levy rather than the coach, undermine the coach's authority. He makes a very good point here, actually.
Well, that's where a director of football can come in, right? And say, listen, lads, the chain of command is if you got a problem, you come to me. You don't go to the chairman. And stop that. Yeah. Go to the chairman. And if you go to the chairman, it'll be classed as a breach of club rules and you'll be fined.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mia, would you agree with what Hot God says there?
I agree with what Philip said. What it should be done is a certain way where a player goes to the manager or a captain, and then a captain goes to a manager, and that's where you sort it, and the manager can take it from there. No, none of this malarkey. It's just getting silly.
Yeah. Mr. E says Luton's a dump. That's just your opinion.
That's your opinion. Doesn't represent any of our opinions. Just saying, people from Luton. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's not us. Come
on, Coventry. And he said Luton, if they need a complete revamp of their stadium, it's rusting and it's shambolic. A bit like Old Trafford, really, if Colin's watching.
It's in the middle of a housing estate nearly. So
it is actually. Yeah. Look. From flop of the season, you have to go for Richarlison, guys. Yeah. Would that be the over? Yeah. Okay.
The whole team,
apart from the rest of the team. You know?
Yeah. The whole team, apart from.
What about Lloris? Do you think he gets a mention for flop of the season?
That's what I'm saying. The whole lot of them have been flops, man. We can't pick one flop. There's too many of them.
No, if you leave it as who's the floppiest of the lot, that might be the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
Now that could be a very Ian's conversation. That.
I will keep that one clean. So I think if we can't for the sheer amount of money spent and the return on the money has to be regardless.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Richardson. Right, player of the season. Right, I'm actually going to put one out here. I'm actually going to go for Bentancur till he got injured. That's who my player of the season was. Yeah, Harry Kane's got all the goals and that, but Bentancur for me was player of the season up to that point, and Harry Kane as well. They're my two.
I think Bentancur was a miss of the season. Once he got injured, that season more or less fell to bits. I wouldn't be. I'd have to give it to Harry though, purely on the. I mean, to score 28 goals in the league, which is 5 more than Sonny did last season for the Golden Boot, is quite remarkable.
Yeah.
So you can't ignore that, and so I would give it to him, but I would give Bentancur a close second.
Yeah, Mia.
Harry Kane, it has to be.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. And let me know in the chat what you think. The poll, I'm going to close now. We had 78 votes for that poll, Philip and Mia. And Mia knows I like my polls. Was the slot deal real or not? No, it was not real, 52%. Yes, it was real, 47%.
It's very close. Too close to call, isn't it, really? You know?
It is. Eric Dyer, the way he helped all the other teams, the man is all up.
True.
Very true.
Mastro's agreeing for me. Bentancur's the best. Neil Shafton says Royale's the biggest improvement.
Yeah, biggest improved, definitely. I'd say Royale.
Yeah. We've got Mr. E said Richie was left on the beach. That's what they're all thinking they are now. Beach way too long until September, then played out of position. Well done, Conte. Longley has 1 goal, 2 assists. Not bad for a player who didn't play much. And fans want. Look, I'm one of the fans that want Longley to stay.
Same here.
I really do. Mia, where are you on the Longley debate?
I think I said before, actually, I think he wouldn't be a bad backup to have if we manage to get some others in. But I don't want him to stay and he's the main one. I don't want him to be the main man, but I want him to be a backup. So it depends if we get him for what reason.
Okay, well, there you go. That is now the end of the show. We're going to go back to the start with the breaking news. Philip, do you want to read out this breaking news for the people?
Yeah, Daniel Levy wants Julian Nagelsmann and is offering a massive wage packet to secure the German signature to take the helm at Spurs next season. With this season coming to an end, there will be no payments to be paid to Bayern Munich. After missing out on slot, Levy wants this deal done as fast as possible. With talks about the deal being finalised towards the middle to back end of next week. Julian is also now more comfortable in taking the Spurs job, down to the fact that Daniel Levy will block any potential transfers for Harry Kane.
Right, I'm going to ask you guys one simple question for end off. Out of 10, what would you give Nagelsmann to be here at the end of next week?
3.
I go 6, but I'm going on a secret mission during the week about that.
Oh, yeah. Do you want to tell people about us? We actually give you a mission. We actually gave you a Mission Impossible mission, didn't we? So, Mr. Philip Brady, do you choose this mission? So tell people where you're going and where you're coming to from us on Monday. I didn't know anything about this, right?
So this is coincidental now, I have to say. I'm not claiming any responsibility for this, but I'm going to be in Munich on Monday morning until Wednesday night. So I'm actually gonna try and meet, if I see anybody with a Bayern Munich shirt on and can talk English, I'm gonna ask them what to think of Nagelsmann and find out. And I'm gonna report in at some stage during my trip if my other half allows me to. She's barred me from bringing my laptop with me, so I'll have to do it on the phone, you know. But I'll be in Munich anyway for the celebrations when they bring the title home on Monday, probably. And it's purely coincidental now. I'm not no other reason.
Yeah, and Carl Simpson says 8 out of 10. That's his director of football of his choice will be in by Wednesday.
Carl was a bit of in the know, you know. This morning he was saying about the DOF and stuff, so he seems to know a little bit.
Tottenham Forever says great show, Domo, Phil, and beautiful Mia. What are the odds at the bookies? Yeah, hang on, let me check.
I don't know.
Hang on, just talk there for a minute, you two.
Yeah, actually, I wonder what Paddy Power are giving on it, you know.
That's what I'm looking at.
Let me just talk about my channel for a sec, since we haven't spoken yet. Everybody go over and follow Spurs Between the Lines. I'm going to put the link in the description. So if you haven't subscribed, please go and do so. I'm on my way to getting 400. I've done my content this morning, which was a review of a preview of the game. So I do previews, reviews. I do all other stuff in between as well. So go over and look at all my content and give it all a like, a watch and a like, because otherwise, if you don't know, then give your head a wobble.
Yeah, give your head a wobble. Right, I've got them here. I've actually got them here, Philip.
So who have you got? Have you got Paddy Power?
I've actually got all 3.
Right, you read that one. I read out Paddy Power. You read out your Paddy Power.
Now for the Celtic manager at Betfair is 5-2, and at BetVector is 2-1 on.
Paddy Power has a Postecoglou of 15-8, Rodgers at 4-1, and Nagelsmann at 11-2.
Yeah, and Nagelsmann and Brendan Rodgers actually next. 4-1 at Betfair and 3-1 at BetVictor and 4-1 at Paddy Power. Nagelsmann's 11-2 at Betfair, 5-1 at BetVictor. Luis Enrique is 17-2 at Betfair, 17-2 at Paddy Power, 6-1 at BetVictor. Harry Potter is 14-1 at Betfair, 14-1 at Paddy Power, and 5-1 at BetVictor. And I will give you the most. Pochettino, right? Where's Pochi? Pochi's 25-1 at Paddy Power. And then
of his ways and doesn't go to Chelsea.
Zinedine Zidane 66-1. There's a good one. Steve Cooper 66-1. Mourinho, right? This is the best one, right?
Yeah.
He's 100-1.
Oh, I'll tell you, it's the one he's not 1,000-1 after what he said yesterday. The only
he's only 33. Yeah, he's 100-1 with Paddy Power. So there you go. Go and put your bet.
Yesterday, Spurs are the only club he worked for. He's no real feeling for.
Yeah,
because he didn't get on with the chairman, and they sacked him for. He sacked him 4 days before a final.
Well, listen, thank you so much, and big up Mick Harmlick who's just joined us. Look, thank you so much for joining us on the show. We've had a mad show.
It's been a blast.
And there's Mia's link there for Spurs Being Delighted. Everyone hit that link. Look, it's been mad. We've had up to 75 people in the house watching us all at once. It's just been mind-boggling. God knows what the numbers can be like. How many likes did we get? Yeah. Can we make it to 40 likes before the end of the show? Come on. We're only two away from 40. Let's get it to 40. Let's get Mia up as well on her likes and subscription. What a lovely show. Thank you so much. Good luck to Luton. Hope you beat Coventry. Don't tell me, Ant. Philip, what we got coming up on the show?
We've got a strange one tomorrow. We've got a kind of a watch-along stroke around the grounds. It'll be concentrating on the relegation issues and the fight for the conference place between Villa, Brentford, and ourselves. And we're bringing in a couple of Leeds fans as well to add a bit of spice to the whole occasion, and it'll be a bit mad. Like scratching, trying to keep up with it. If keeping up with Bayern Munich and Dortmund was hard today, what's it going to be like tomorrow with all the permutations that are coming up?
Yeah,
that's 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, 4 o'clock tomorrow. We've got Ellie coming on. We've got Colin coming in, Man United fan. Hopefully, Disabled Team has emailed me and I'd send him a link. He's coming in as well. Mia will coming in at the end of the show as well. And then at the end of the show, we'll have a brief discussion on the whole season as a whole. So, can Spurs get into Europe? Philip, what's your score prediction for tomorrow?
Oh, I think we gave. Actually, do you know what we'll do? We'll keep the score predictions to ourselves. We all made score predictions yesterday for all the games tomorrow. So we're going to read them. We're going to see how much we can get them right. I'm not. So we'll keep that for tomorrow. But it's really we've no control over it. If Villa win, game over. So that's simple as that.
Thank you so much for coming on today, Philip. As always, Mia, thank you so much as well coming on always. It's 4:30 kickoff tomorrow. We're back at 1 tomorrow at 4 o'clock with Around the Grounds. God, here we go for another week in the merry-go-round that is Tottenham Hotspur. Whatever you do, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Come on, you Spurs. And I'm going to say it now. In Nagelsmann, we trust.
No, don't say those words. It's bad luck. You're bringing bad luck. Every time we say it, it doesn't happen. So we must not speak the words. In the fans, we trust.
Okay, in Harry Kane, we trust. Bye-bye.